Hey guys, welcome to another video. Therefore in this video, you'll find some essential PUBG Mobile tips and tricks that will put you ahead of the pack and help you bag those sweet chicken dinners. Choose where to land very carefully. A game of PUBG can last as long as half an hour, or, if things go horribly wrong, it can all be over in a few seconds. One surefire way of exiting early is by misjudging your initial landing spot, which is why it's first on our list. As a general rule of thumb, you want to aim for the best loot spots in the game map you're playing on, while also avoiding as many other players as possible. There are some particular areas that regularly spawn the best weapons and armor, such as the military base, power plant, or the various major towns in the original map Angel, but bear in mind that other seasoned players will be heading there too. Once you've jumped out of the cargo plane, keep an eye out for swarms of other players heading to a single location and avoid those areas like the plague. Likewise, don't just aimlessly drift once you're in free fall. Pinpoint a safe enough area, preferably with buildings, so you can grab some loot and push forward to speed your way there. Buildings will show up as white blocks on the mini-map, so make sure you're heading in the right direction. If you can't see one, you can always open your parachute early and coast over to a decent landing zone. Just be aware that every second you spend in the sky is a second your opponents will be using to scoop up loot. Loot first, shoot later. Let me re-emphasize this one last time: if you die in PUBG, you are dead. In solo play, there are no second chances, and in squads you'll be putting your team's chances of victory at risk if you keep getting downed early. Once you hit the floor, your first priority is gearing up so you don't get clipped in any initial skirmishes. You'll find crucial loot scattered around in buildings and supply crate drops. The latter contain the most sought-after weapons like the insanely powerful sniper rifle, but remember, you won't be the only one hoping to grab the spoils. The most important loot in the early stages is a half-decent weapons, ammo, and some reasonable armor, as well as a backpack upgrade up to level 3, so you have room for better gear as you start exploring. Any gun is better than your fists, or even the legendary PUBG frying pan, so grab any nearby firearms before engaging a foe. Armor is also crucial, so you can take more hits in a firefight. Like the backpack, head and body armor is graded from level 1 to 3, but level 3 armor is fairly rare. Aim for level 2 armor before picking a scrap, or level 1 at a bare minimum. Health items are also a priority. First aid kits are preferable, but bandages, painkillers, and the like will all help in a pinch. Thrown items like grenades will become more important later on as an offensive or distraction tool once the player count has diminished, but don't be afraid to throw an explosive surprise if you come across an unsuspecting group early on. Only shoot when you're in range. This is the ultimate rookie error, and it'll get you killed more than anything else in PUBG Mobile. Deciding when to hide and when to attack is a tricky balancing act, but you should never ever open fire unless you know your weapon has a chance of hitting the target. Keep an eye on the map. It'll take a fair few games to learn the layout of certain areas of the PUBG map, let alone the whole thing. While you're getting used to the landscape, make sure you're paying attention to the mini-map and keeping an eye on the diminishing play area. In PUBG, the only safe area lies within the circle. This circle will begin to shrink at select times during the match, and if you find yourself outside of it for too long, you'll eventually die. The damage you take in this electrified blue field will increase as the circle shrinks. Early on you'll be fine for a few minutes, while in the very final stage you won't last more than 10 seconds. Each new circle will show on your map as a white outline, so if you watch your map you'll always know where to go next. There's no need to rush in the early phases, but towards the end you'll need to get moving to avoid death, while also trying to steer clear of other players who will be doing the same thing. You should always be trying to remain in cover where possible, but if you do need to move quickly and with purpose. The mini-map also has one final trick up its sleeve that you absolutely need to look out for: a fire indicator. If you hear gunfire in your vicinity, have a quick glance at the map and it'll show exactly where it's coming from. Wills are better than legs. Need to get somewhere fast? Then you need a vehicle. Vehicles are littered all around each of the game's maps, but you'll find them most commonly near the larger cities and on the main roads. Unfortunately, while there are plenty of vehicles to go around, there's also up to 99 other players potentially looking to get behind the wheel too, so be sure it's safe before approaching. The motorcycle and buggy are both great for zipping to the next play area, but will leave you relatively exposed. Larger vehicles like the Jeep will be slower, but are great for carrying around 4 players with a nice amount of protection. PUBG Mobile's touchscreen controls can be a bit fiddly at the best of times, so you can imagine how difficult it is to deliver a lethal blow to an opponent when they're driving straight at you. The downside, however, is the amount of attention you'll draw thanks to those loud engines. Communicate with your squad mates. PUBG can be very lonely when you're squatting in a field somewhere all alone, just waiting for a chance to strike. That all changes in duo or group play, where strategic play and constant communication are key to victory. Almost every aspect of PUBG changes in co-op, be it choosing a place to land, deciding who takes what loot, picking a target, or even calling who gets to ride shotgun in a vehicle. Attacking in numbers is far safer than splitting up, but equally, you'll need to maintain a little distance from your allies from time to flank opponents and hold vantage points. Alternatively, if you have a few buddies, you can always use voice and chat apps like Discord. If you absolutely must remain quiet, make sure to at least use the game's built-in quick chat feature. It lets you send messages like "I'll cover you" or "enemies ahead" at the tap of a button. Know your maps. While most of PUBG Mobile's maps are more than familiar to fans of PUBG, it's important to learn weapon and item spawns in each map in order to maximize your chances of winning. This will not only influence your landing spot, but also where you should move as the match progresses. Knowing your maps is even more important now that Miramar, Sanhok, and the newly added snow map Vikendi have all been added to the game. In the case of Vikendi, the map features a few extras like snowmobiles. You'll learn the best hiding spots as you play, but you can learn faster by limiting the maps in the pool by unselecting them before starting a match. Do this and you'll be an expert in no time at all. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Hope you learned something new today. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Peace out and have a great day ahead.